Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. So as we said, this is going to be talking about body. So what do we mean by body? Your physical existence. And first question is, why are we starting with the body? When the Islam, most people think about spirituality. And the reason is that the body and health is the first wealth. If you will see later on, I will share some stories. If you're not like healthy in your body, it will affect everything you do. And the best analogy for the body is body is like a vehicle for the soul, right? Imagine if you have a good car, you can get to places. If your car is not working, you may get stuck. And you've seen people that are stuck on the road, and that's not what we want to be. And the body is also something that's very close to us. We can see, we can feel it. And inshallah, as you will see in this journey, that sometimes we need to redefine our faith. And the best thing is, as a human body, we always want to see it, feel it first. We want to see it work. And then once we see it working, we believe at confidence, then we can take it to the next levels. So having said that, the first and foremost about the body is that, to be honest with you, this has been my challenge for me personally. It's been for many, many years. I've been putting it on a back burner. While I knew, like everybody else, yeah, you have to work on your body, you have to eat healthy and all those diets, but I put it on a back burner. I said, I'm fine, I'm doing fine. Probably I was. When I was in my 20s, 30s, it was fine. But when you're getting to 40s and over, you begin to see that how you digest food will change, and it's going to begin to affect in everything else. And to be honest, this will be for me, the most challenging foundation. Like most challenging thing for me is that to figure out the whole story about the food, whole story about the health, whole story about the body. What does it really mean? Unfortunately, these are the things we're not at school. We have to figure out the hard way. So we will come back to that later on. The questions, as we said, what are our beliefs? What are we going to do, and why we want to do that, and most importantly, how we're going to do that. So let me start sharing with you some of my beliefs I had when it comes to the body, the physicality. For me, for many, many years, I thought, this is my body, like everybody else. I can do whatever I want. These are the beliefs I had before. And then, I can eat for the taste. I don't have to worry about it, this stuff. Etc. So one thing over the years, one thing I understood before anything changed, you have to really change your belief about a thing. That's why that first question, what are your beliefs, is so important. We want you to write down your beliefs, and I want to analyze, are they positive beliefs or negative beliefs? If they are negative beliefs, for example, if I believe, let's say, I can never change my body, guess what happens? That I will never take action, I will never do anything, and my body looks even worse and worse every day, right? So that's why we start always with the beliefs. So coming to the beliefs, my beliefs were very negative, not positive, let's put it this way, and these were very selfish. I thought that, I can do whatever I want. And then on top of that, the media, not necessarily media, the big brands, big food brands, they have a really big propaganda about the food. They tell you, if you watch the TVs and ads, they show you how delicious food is. Obey your thirst, obey your hunger, eat in this and that, do whatever, you live only once. But the reality is that, and we do just follow that. We just eat that food. And as Muslims, even though we believe we have to eat halal, alhamdulillah, all of us eat halal. We make sure the meats are halal. But in the Quran, there's another concept called halal and tayyib. Tayyib means it's good, right? It's not only with halal. I mean, I would also do it, which is, what's good for the body is healthy, right? It means that's healthy, and that's why we should eat. While the halal is the bare minimum, the tayyib would be the taking to the next level, right? So one thing really changed my shift by trying to understand this thing. For the very, very long time, I couldn't figure out was that my belief. And then for me, I had to redefine what it really means, the body, what does it really mean when I say body, this physical body. Number two, I had to redefine hunger. What does hunger mean? I will come to that in a moment. The third, I have to redefine the food. if you want to do anything change to your section, you have to change your beliefs and body, the hunger, and the food. So let's start with the body. So what is body? What's your body? If you ask me maybe 10, 15 years ago, I would say, oh, that's body, my body. I can do what I want. But is it really true? Like, what have I done to get this body? I have my arms, I have my eyes, legs, and body. What have I really done? To be honest, nothing. One day I was conscious, I looked around, I had my eyes, I had my hands, I just moved on. I didn't do anything. I was born with this, I was given. So as Muslims though, we believe everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Even us. So we are going back. So according to our tradition, our bodies, so what are our bodies then? Our bodies is like I would say, long-term lease. That's what it is. You understand? So the best way of example would be, I don't know, people are different. Like, let me give you an example. Like, imagine one of the cars you really like. For some it could be Ferrari, for some Maserati, for some whatever, right? Imagine a good friend of yours or somebody from your family member, they have that car, you don't have it, you really want it. They say, you know what, here you go. Ali, go and try it for a week. Don't worry about it, just put the right gasoline and just try it out, and then you come back. And how would you feel? I personally will feel very grateful, say, wow, thank you, man, I get to try what I want to do. And what next thing I would do, I would figure out, oh, what type of fuel does it need, right? Imagine it needs 95, I don't want to put diesel, because what happens is that it just breaks down. And number 3, I'll make sure it's clean. Number 5, I'll make sure it doesn't, hit other cars. Should be, you know what I'm talking about. If you have ever taken from somebody for a time and given back, so this is just for the car, right? It's a nice thing to do. You would never want, and any decent human being would not break it like, all crashed or dirty or, doesn't working. That's not any decent human being do. So I assume you are a decent human being. And my question to you is that, have you ever thought about your body, right? If you think about it, that was one big realization for me, is that if I really think about it, it is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's this vehicle that's been given to me that to take action in this dunya, the world, the reality will be called until a certain period of time. That's what it is. So if that is the case, I'm not the one, I can do whatever I want, right? And my body has rights on it. My hands, my arms, my legs, my ears, every organ I have has a right on me. And that's not something I'm making up. And I think there's a hadith, or even the Quran, I don't remember if it's a hadith. So on the day of judgment, each of them will gonna testify. What deeds I did with this hand? Where did I go with this leg? What words did I speak? What have I listened to? What did I watch? And everything will be responsible. So if that is the case, it shifts the whole thing from my being selfish, then actually, this is a rental. This is a long-term rental. So this was my first mind shift. Actually, it's a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, alhamdulillah. And the second is, I have to give it back in the best condition I can. Otherwise, it will not be a nice thing to do. This is what pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's number 1. So the second thing, as we said, it's about the hunger. So what's the hunger? In our society, we live in a way that we don't have to get really hungry. What I mean by that is, the food is available. You can even now order with your plate, at home. It brings in half an hour. The moment we just feel like, we just want to get something. But if you look at the hunger itself, it divides into 4 categories. First, you may not know, there's actually called thirst hunger. What it means is that our body is like 70% of water. When we don't have enough water, our brain and our stomach sense like, hey, I need something. And most of the time we translate as, oh, I need to eat, and we eat. So instead of doing that, if you just drink 68 glasses of water, if you get you hydrated, not thirsty, most of the time it will keep your hunger levels to the low. That's number 1. type 1 of hunger. Number 2 is called emotional hunger. Sometimes you're feeling down, sometimes you're stressed, you want to eat, right? Because it's called comfort food. It's not a real food, but a comfort food. Unfortunately, in our society, if you don't really follow, if you don't really be careful about the food, most of the foods we eat is not healthy. It could be halal, don't get me wrong, but not healthy. What I mean is that we'll come back to the food itself in the next section, but we end up eating a lot of stuff, but not nutritious. It means that it doesn't make you satiated, full. You want to keep craving more. It's like a vicious cycle, And the third one is called nutritional hunger. As I said, you eat stuff, but it doesn't have the nutrients. It doesn't have the thing you need. And the body said, hey, you know what? You give me empty stuff, give me more. And the last one is actually empty stomach hunger. That's the hunger we should eat when we are really hungry. So now you have a tool, navigating those hunger, and you have to do stuff. So what can you do? If you're thirsty, as I said, try to drink 6 to 8 cups of water every day. It will take your hunger 50-60%. And then figure out about when you're eating food, why you're eating that food. Are you really, really hungry? When you're really hungry, your stomach hungry, sometimes your hand may, shiver. Most of the time it doesn't. And we just eat because of emotional. Or nutrition. Sometimes you eat just because you keep eating, and then because you're eating not the healthy stuff. Then you have to eat the healthy stuff. So last one is the only one we have to eat. So now coming back to the food itself. The food is very interesting. All those big brands has been lying to us and all the stuff. They told us, don't eat fat and then exercise a lot, but really they talk about the sugar. You know what? I've been doing a lot of learning. What I really figured out is the body itself we've existed probably thousands of years, as you know. And our body is designed, right? This vehicle is designed to burn fat for fuel, because we need energy, not sugar. Yes, you can eat sugar sometimes, but sugar is a quick energy. Our body is built to burn the fat. Why? Because fat burns longer, and just to give you an idea, on any given time, we have about 2,000 calories. Just to give you in mind, 2,000 calories of sugar, that quickly, instantly available energy. Can you guess how much fat energy do we have, all average human being? 200,000. 100 times more. Do you understand that? So what we need to do, that's the right vehicle, right fuel for our vehicle, is the fat, not the sugar. But what we do is that in our everyday life, we eating junk food, and most of the food, I will come back in a moment, not the right stuff, which is high in sugar. We get burning gas, and then we want even more because the sugar leaves those things. So the food for me, I have to really figure out is that how do I change my body? It's like, burning energy, coal for energy, black energy we call it, or electricity, green energy. That's the difference. When you burn coal, black energy, what happens is that your body is not functioning properly. It always craves. You feel not focused, fog in the head. Sometimes you feel really sluggish and you want to sleep. I've experienced it many, many years. I know what I'm talking about, my firm experience, not just the theory. But then, if you can flip it to the fat burning, it's called, I think, the ketosis. You can check it out. What happens? The body goes into different focus mode, into different mode that you don't crave these things. And before we go to this, I want to explain as a general rule. Imagine you have a plate. Maybe we can put later on in editing, we can put imagine you have a plate. Half of it should be veggies, right? And other people say, oh, I don't like veggies. Trust me, you haven't tried veggies. What I mean is that all of the different types. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives so many choices. If you don't like broccoli, don't eat broccoli. Eat something else, okay? But make sure half of it is veggies. And another 1/4, make sure it is protein. The protein is that it could be meat, making sure it's halal and fish and chicken, that. And other halves, it could be fat. What the fat is, it could be nuts, and it could be avocado and other things which is rich in healthy fat. It could be a very small piece if you want. It could be carbs, which could be a small piece of bread or sugar. Ideally, you should avoid them as much as you can. So you see, you have the plate and you have a very small carb. It could be, ideally you can avoid them. So this is how it should be, right? If you do that, the question is that for a lot of us, it's a hard thing to do. It may sound hard, but I'm telling you that if you do it in a way, but later on we'll go to how we're gonna dive into that, the questions and beliefs. All it takes is 3 days. If 3 days you can give up sugar, just one thing. First of all, what happens, you begin to, your whole system changes from burning sugar and burning fat. And remember, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us. And this is our fitrah, not the sugar. And you will see, you will feel better. Your body will thank you, and you will feel much more focused, right? So once I learned, once I have this, all of this thing together, the realization, my body is my amana. Hunger is not always being hungry. Actually, I have to understand my hunger. And the last one, the food. What type of fuel does my car need? Once I understood that, it just, epiphany is that, you know what, I asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I said, look, Allah, you are the best helper of helpers. Like, I have tried this many times. On my own, I cannot. But I rely on you, help me. And why is that, for me, that? Because this is your amana. I want to take care of it so that I can feel better, so I can do more good things. And inshallah, when we meet, and I'm not responsible for the worst bad things that I want to improve, right? So inshallah, let's start with that dua. And now we're going to go back to those 4 core fundamental questions. So I'm going to ask the questions, and we'll take a pause, and then you have to fill it out. You may stop the video as well. The first question: what are your beliefs about your body, about your health, about your fitness, about the whole system? So as I said, my things was, I have negative beliefs, it changed to positive. So what is going to be, after listening to this, what are your beliefs? Take 2-3 minutes, write it down, you can stop it, and you come back to the next question. So if you're still waiting, you have to go back and come back later on. As I said, it's important. It is really important. It's not just a video you just watch. If you want to actually take a moment, write it down, inshallah, you will see the benefit. If you write it down, make the dua and take action. Just go back. Okay, so the next question is, what are your goals? For me, my goals was that I want to see my body, that what I can, and there is no fat on my belly, right? I already started the process. I'm probably in the next 2-3 months is what I'm going to get. I started a few months back. This is my goal. And as you can imagine, I'm not talking about kilograms, but I'm just talking about how I want to look and feel. I want to feel very clear. I want to get focused so I can do my things better. So what are your goals about your body? Please write down. It could be 1, it could be 2. Imagine, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you tawfiq and success, and how it look like. And we'll wait. Go ahead. So, question number 3. Why do you want it? This is the question that's going to define if you're going to end up doing or not. As I said, in my case, for some people, they want to show their abs. For some people, they want to show their muscles. For me, it was neither of those. For me, as I said, for me, it's like such a responsibility of taking care of this amana, number 1. And number 2, if I do it right, so it will please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but then I can feel even more energized, I can do more even good. That's my intention. So you can define your intentions why, but I'm going to tell you something. If your intentions doesn't go to really, really deep and doesn't attach to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala core level, it may not stick, right? I'm just not telling you what to do, but I'm just giving you a guidance. It has to be really, really deep, and you have to believe it. So what happens if you do it? And what happens if you don't? There should be consequences. And I believe there will be consequences if I do. I will lose my health. I may die sooner. And then most importantly, I will be responsible for Salah, right? If I do it properly, I can live in a healthy body. I can live longer. More importantly, I can be more energetic. I can use this body to do the right thing. So write down your whys. And the last question is, how are you going to get there? How are you going to get there? In my case, you have to write a strategy. As I said, I've given you those stories. In my case, I have redefined my body, my hunger, and the food. So for me, what I did is that I have, I had some healthy habits. To be honest, I had been walking every day 10,000 steps for the last, I don't know, 5-6 years. I keep on doing that. And then number two, how I'm going to get there is that I have slowly started giving up things which are not healthy. Like for me, I love bread. I have give up on bread. I can still eat something, but not anymore as much as I do because it wasn't healthy for me. And I've given up milk, right? And you can read all, I'm not going to go into detail. I've given up milk. And the last, which was the toughest part for me, I really love eating a lot of sweet stuff. I've given up the sugar as well. The moment I did all those things, it took us some journey, right? I did it. I can see the difference and how I feel, how I eat, and how I actually focused. And even I can see in my weight and the fat percentage, it all took a different level. So for you, what are your goals? Right now, remember, I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm just writing. You need to plan how it will look like. So sometimes what body plays tricks and say, you know what, how are you going to do that? You didn't try, don't do it. Just don't listen to any of those. We will come back to in the mindfulness about those voices you hear. But right now, tell them, you know what, it's okay. Tell them I'm not doing it anyway, okay? Right now, anyway. I'm just writing down, okay? Let me write down and write down. And last but not the least, as we said, let's start with the right dua. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us tawfiq, gives us success, and hopefully we will not be slaves of our hunger, but we master our hunger, right? Master our body. Because you will see this analogy, it becomes handy at a later point. By having said that, in the next video, we're going to talk about the mind and the mindset and the thoughts. And I will see you. Assalamu alaikum.